completely recycled itself back to you guys into the liquidity pool and stuff like that. Now, as far as R&D goes, it's clear in the white paper where the funds of the treasury would be used to build it, to phase out the next parts of our ecosystem and to build that. So like you can't say that you didn't know where it was going if you were in R&D, because it was in the white paper and expressed. We did have a marketing wallet, we did have a treasury, and those were to be used for investing in things to keep the system going and stuff like that. And we kept it going for as long as we could. When Dusk, when Remu, when anything that we can utilize on the blockchain, there's absolutely nothing right now. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. I've been fighting for this for a couple months now. Unfortunately, Scarlet Chain has, sucked up a lot of resources on not just the development side, but the time side. So we haven't been able to pour into the other parts of like Dusk or Remu like we want to. Now Remu, we're trying to gather permission from Jagex in order to launch it as a proof of concept, and it be a completely non-money generating object, just so that way, we can show it as a proof of concept, because Remu is based off a RuneScape private server. So permission from Jagex is going to be very essential. And we feel like we can accomplish that from our connections that we made in PCG London. No, I did not, Yusuf. Now,
yeah, Alex, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously, like, there's a lot of talk in the general chat. I went through the rebate. It was pretty unclear. Obviously, you guys probably have to go through more details. But when people are saying like it's $20 a month, like if we're 20 or 50, is that more so a joke, or like it actually will be that low?
So I think they're just basing that off of the initial first rebate, and I don't think they're taking into account the possibilities of what's coming the next month. Now, and that's not even, excuse me, sorry, and that's not even taking into account, and I believe they're taking that number based off of 9,000 wallet addresses. That's not taking into account the people who have already made a profit or return on investment, because now they're not going to be getting it. So, like, for example, out of that 9,000, let's say, let's just make it half to make it easier. Only half got a return on investment, and the other half didn't. Then that already eliminates half of the wallets. And then on top of that, out of that half of the wallets that didn't, they could only be out of, like, in the red by maybe a couple hundred. So they wouldn't be necessarily in that the process for as long as people are expecting. So that $20 a month, while it's technically accurate based off the numbers that they see, it's not as accurate as I think it will be once we get all the data that we can, and also it's not taking into account what our plan is for compounders or anything like that. And I would really like to reward people that have been compounding day in and day out, because they had a dream just like we did, and they were trying to get to a certain goal before they started claiming. And I believe they should be rewarded for not hurting the ecosystem. But it's not necessarily my decision. And I'm working every day in order to try to provide different types of outcomes in which we can utilize. I really want to do a chain swap program so people can express. Can somebody mute that person? I'm so sorry. I'd really like to do a chain swap program. But that remains to be seen, and if we're going to take action on that or not. There's definitely stuff that's coming out in the ecosystem, like Dusk and Remu, for example, that you can easily swap chains into something that produces something else that doesn't require liquidity. Dusk is a major point of that. It doesn't really matter if there's 100,000 lands producing resources, because it's ever so changing with the seasonal updates, just like games nowadays, and it's fully reliant on the secondary market. So nobody can really necessarily complain about there being liquidity issues, because it's only, hey, you're selling it to this guy who needs oil for his tanks, right? So I don't know. That's what I want to do personally, but we're so far out with the Dust development to be able to do that we don't want to make that promise and then not be able to deliver it in a short time frame, which everybody's expecting.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like I've probably put in a total of like I think 40, but I get the game like I think I probably made back like 5K off 40K. But like I get the game, like I get it's crypto, it makes sense. But I mean, I honestly like if you could buy me dinner first, like that would be great.
Yeah. Any other questions? I can't really read the chat while I'm speaking, otherwise I won't be able to continue what my train of thought process is. So I'm sorry if I missed your message. I just don't understand how and why the fuck you guys came up with the idea that you want to change star price 3 times. You guys said it was more sustainable, blah blah blah, and then make us wait 4 months into shutting down the project, and now make us wait like 2 years. That's a big if to refund us. No, I wouldn't say that's a big if. I could probably confidently say none of us, want to go to jail, so or lose our jobs. So the refund's going to happen, and yeah. Now, as far as changing the scar price 3 times, the thought process behind that was if it's more going out, there's also more going in taxes, right? So the thought process and the theoreticals behind it were there. It was definitely like not incorrect in that sense. However, we could not get to that point in Scarlet Chains fast enough that it would out rely the income sources that unfortunately failed. Now, that's the problem, and that's where we had to come to a road stop and decide what to do with Scarlet Chains. And I'm not exactly happy with what we did, but hey, that's life. You guys said it's more sustainable, blah blah. Yeah, so on paper, it was more sustainable than V1, right? Because of the different tax system and because of the increased amount that was going out, but also coming back in because of the higher scar price, right? The point of taxes weren't to punish the user or anything like that. The point of taxes were to slow down the total amount going out versus the total amount staying in order for outside revenue streams to catch up with the outgoing balance, right? That's the point of taxes. It's to slow it down, to slow down the output. Right now, when you have something that's critically failed, that doesn't matter how many taxes you have. You're still going to have X amount that's continuously dropping out. So yeah. Alex, you tagged a random person, LV. I know, I agree with you. I already apologized, for actions in the past and stuff like that. Honestly, it's kind of like when you're playing for a sports team, and it's like no matter what, it's ride or die, right? So that's yeah.
Hey, Mickey Moose. What is it you need there, love?
Hello?
Yeah.
Alex, we actually don't need an apologize. We need like more transparency and no lies and all these things because apologize means nothing, to be fair.
Yep, I agree with you.
And I have a question. Where all that money during the downtime went?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, we had like 3 or 4 months, I don't know, without Scarlet Chains. And apparently we were earning some amount of money. Where is all that money?
Well,
Went into paying out people.
Alex, didn't we launch and then drop like $700,000 worth of liquidity or $800,000 in Scarlet just from like
Yeah.
half the wallets, maybe? Yeah, so that really hurt tremendously
So when we launched
because I watched
V2
it go
initially,
from 600 right down to 100, and then you guys put more in, and then that's when we shut it off shortly after that.
yeah, I believe close to like $1 million was put into Scarlet Chain's V2 relaunch, and then it was Yeah,
Because
he's
last time I
probably.
checked, the contract was around 600 left.
Crazy girl. What are you doing, crazy girl?
And
So
next day, it was shut down, like paused.
yeah.
What is your brother doing? He's been sitting boy too. He's just sitting there.
Hey, James. No, I did not. It's not mine. How about A districts for 4K? How
And
to make
let's say that this refund's going to happen in the next, let's say, 1 year, if it's possible. And if we continue, how you, well, not you, but let's say you in general, the team, the devs, the whatever, how you going to try to gain our trust again? Because we will always have something in mind, like all of us, not just me. Or I still keep my coins and everything, but I don't know if there is actual point of keeping them. And also, I was checking the blockchain, and there are like a lot of empty transactions. Why is that?
Yeah, good question. So for the first part, regarding trust, yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. And do I blame you? No.
No.
But the only thing that we can do is keep moving forward and keep doing what we say we're going to do with the refund, and also continue to build out our ecosystem. That's the only thing that we can do, and whether or not you ever regain your trust for us is remains is to remain to be seen, right? So, how do I plan on garnering back trust for everybody? It's a tough question to answer, right? Because everybody has a different
Yeah,
reason why they're
indeed.
mad, and right. And then as for your empty transactions question, so because we're a gasless blockchain, it doesn't cost anything to send transactions. It's completely free. So when it comes to empty transaction or empty blocks, blocks are right now 2.2 seconds. So it's very hard to fill up a block completely. It's oftentimes, especially with the uses of the chain right now, that a block is empty. Now, as transactions are empty, that means somebody is trying something out, and they're utilizing either max gas or no gas in order to fill a transaction that's absolutely doing nothing. We see that commonly with arbitrage bots testing something. We see that common with proxy contracts communicating with other proxy contracts, or pulling data off of external sources that are not in the blockchain, and it's free to do so because we're a gasless blockchain. Now, why does not that doesn't create congestion because of our pocket system?
But didn't we had like few partnerships that they're actually like running under our blockchain? So there is something supposed to be of them, because apparently, from what I read in the chat, yeah, Indiana said that they're big companies, and I don't know. I have in my mind that if it's big company, they will need to do a lot of transactions. So
Yeah, so it really depends
we,
on the
we were
company and
not
what they're
supposed
trying to
to have
do.
that many empty transactions. And also the other day he mentioned, or you mentioned, I don't know, so I can't say who was, that we expect to do partnerships with billion-dollar companies, and I don't know.
Yeah, so that's 100% completely true. There's two companies that I'm very excited for, that I haven't had the chance to meet in person yet because they're not in Florida. But I'm
Mhm.
super excited about these partnerships. They stem from a different partnership that we haven't announced yet. That came from the partnership with XT. So it's the networking is going really well. Now, the reason why I can't say what the partnership is just yet is because of the fact that agreements haven't been finalized, as far as payments or structure or marketing goes. So I'm not allowed to say anything. They've asked us not to say anything until it's finalized because of how big of a company it is.
Mhm.
And they are both of them are publicly traded. So yeah.
Okay. And why it's always you that is answering questions? Why no one
Yes.
that can actually, well, let's say Indiana, why he's never here to like
Explain
answer
it.
questions? You have
I
to
wouldn't
do
say he's
everything
never
for
here.
everyone. Well, let's say not
Yeah, I know.
never, but it's way less than you are. I understand that is you're the
Well,
CTO, but if
yeah.
we have
So
questions that you can't answer, let's say because you're gonna risk your job or something, why he's not here to answer these questions?
yeah, no, a great question. So he is in Australia with Rory Bailey and Joe, right? So, it's kind of like difficult for them to be awake when I'm awake because I'm on a different time zone, right? So I feel like most of the community is in the same time zone or in a time zone that works or is awake at the same time that I am. So it may seem like that I'm the only one here. It's just because they're asleep. Like for example, right now it's really early in the AM. Let's see,
It's like
it
3:30
is
right now, isn't it?
yeah, so it's like 3:37 in the morning right now for them, right? So obviously they're not going to be here. There's a complaint like, oh, they shouldn't sleep until this is done. Well, I mean,
That's
that's kind of
stupid.
But
hard to.
Sorry.
if he really, let's be honest. If was me, I will not bother what time is. I will I will stay awake and care about the community, and at least one time in a
Okay,
week
you
or
you
in a
gotta
month,
rest.
let's
You
say
gotta
a
be
Yeah, he
able
month,
was.
to rest.
I
You
will
gotta
do
be
that.
able to. You gotta be able to function. I'm sorry. You just got to be able to function and rest. I mean, you can't go to work on no sleep and then try to do something and then think you're going to be at 100%. You've got to refresh yourself in some form of way, and that's what sleep does for us. I'm
This is
not
why I
putting up
said
any
at
excuses
least
for
one
them.
time a month.
He is here. If you just take his name and then
He
you
was
search him
in
in
the
chat,
other day.
he was here yesterday. He was here for the announcement.
Yeah. hmm
So,
Yes,
um,
your sleep schedule may not be his sleep schedule, and he just is certain to be there, but he was there.
Well, I don't have any other questions for now.
okay.
All right,
No, I'm
thank you
gonna
for
answer some.
answering.
No problem, man. Thanks for asking. I'm gonna answer some of the chat questions real quick before somebody asks another mic question. Does the maximum capacity of the queue have to be lowered to a maximum of 70K to free it up for use? Because it's absolutely not reassuring. Yeah, I 100%. I understand where you're coming from. No, it's that maximum capacity. I think it was like 400,000 that was put into it over 2 days, which is fully understandable. So as that gets cleared, it'll open back up. It's not going anywhere. It's going to open back up, and you're going to be able to queue your USDTR. Now, can you please answer me? Let me go back to that message. I bought 8 districts for 4K. How can they don't count as money in? What do you mean? Did you buy them off NFT trade?
That's
If you
expensive.
bought them off NFT trade, that's very expensive. I'm you would have bought them for Avalanche. Yeah. So I'm gonna take a note of that and make sure that we're taking that into consideration. However, here's the drawback to that. A lot of people were using NFT trade to swap districts between themselves. So that's the hard part, right? It's defining what's real and what isn't. We might have to take that just under the chin and just and go for it, but I'll make sure to take a look at that for sure. Will enhancer NFTs received from the vault be compensated as well? I believe so. Yes. The only enhancer NFT that's not, because if the enhancer NFTs that you did from the vault, you had to purchase or utilize Scar in order to take in order to make a red, in order to use it, or a plain or black to use it in the vault, right? So that cost basis in is already being accounted for. Um, and then as far as compounding goes, like I already touched upon it. Sorry, as far as compounding goes, it would be easy to touch upon it. Sorry, I'm reading something as trying to speak as well. That's why I can't look at the chat while I'm speaking. As far as compounding goes, I've touched upon it. I really I think that we need to do something about it. It's just a little bit more complicated than just saying, yeah, we're going to do something, right? So I'm looking into every single option that we can. And I'm looking into a chain swap program as well. I'm literally trying everything. So if you could just be patient with me, that'd be great. And then as soon as I know something, or as soon as we have something to announce, it will be announced.
Hey, Alex, it's Nancy. Would you like me to read some of these questions to you? Would that be helpful?
I got it. I'm getting there.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, unless it's in Gen Chat. If it's in Gen Chat, you can. I'm answering the questions from the
Yeah, I'm looking at those
PC.
questions too. I'll see if I can go to Gen Chat and see if I see anything.
Yeah. I'll discuss.
There's a question about the
with,
3% on the bridge, but I don't see.
Yeah, I'll discuss with the team, and I'll bring that up. The 3% on the bridge. I'll just go on record and say that it's not fair. But yeah, it's. I'm really like. I already know that as soon as everything that I said today gets out and Leo hears of it, I'm gonna hear a shitstorm. But you guys deserve the peace of mind. I claimed but didn't sell, and when I did claim, I would use it to create more chains. That's just the way I did it. Does that affect my refund in any way? Not so that wouldn't count as money out, but it doesn't also count as money in. So if you had $100 that went in, right, for example, but then you use another $100 that you claim to build something because you didn't sell it, it wouldn't count against you, but it doesn't count for you because you didn't buy that $100. And yes, I know people will say, how is that fair? It's the same thing as reinvestment. It should be the same thing as money in. I understand your points on that. I do also agree with the blackjack point that somebody made earlier, but I also agree with the fact that compounders need to be compensated. So we're all on the same page here. So this has been mentioned for a while. Seriously, Alex, how long do we have to keep dealing with that, especially with after this? Can we have I don't know what you mean, Monkey. I'm so sorry. Can we have a definite time when Redlight Link will be tradable on midnight trades? Yeah, like ASAP. ASAP. So like right away. 3% tax risk tax issue. Yeah. I'll bring it up again. I'll do it right now actually.
As a question from Gen Chat,
Yeah, go ahead.
how close are we to Midnight Trades upgrade?
Midnight trades update, you said?
Upgrade, yeah. You talked about an upgrade at some point, and Killer Cool wanted to know.
It's a great question. Midnight Trades definitely needs an upgrade. Definitely needs some developer toolkits installed to it. We had a draft DApp made, and we will integrate that as soon as it's feasible.
Hey, can I ask a voice question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm sorry if this sounds accusatory. That's not my point to throw you under the bus or under the spotlight.
Whose
It's
Coke
just
blew up in there the other day?
I'm sorry about the interruption. Go ahead.
under all this scrutiny that Redlight is under right
There's
now.
one in the freezer
So
now. Are you okay?
There's a lot of rumors about your MIT attendance, whether or not it's true. Why haven't you provided a screenshot of that? I think it would take 1 minute, if it's true, to shut down everyone and just focus on something else. Because we see a lot of misinformation about the Ferrari, about random addresses that supposedly are yours, supposedly. We know there's a lot of fake information, so why not work towards that? And the second question is, how come after basically 6 to 8 months of the blockchain, there's no real utility for the governance coin.
So I definitely disagree on your second question, but for the first, I'll get to that in a second. For the first question, I mean, I could. However, the lengths at which these people have gone to put a magnifier so far up our asses, it's not even funny. I don't feel like it's necessary to do so, because if it was genuine and they were real, they would know, right? And on top of that, I've already done it in the past. It's been posted here in Discord in the past, and on top of that, the number one problem is everything that we say, they skew it, right? They take it and they twist it and they change it into something else, and I've seen that so many different times. It's really not even funny. But I've been advised not to do that. I provided it to the necessary people that I needed to, and as far as that goes, and that's how it will remain, right? So, as far as your second question about utility on Redlight chain with the governance coin, I kind of disagree with you. There's a lot of utility. One of them being Don Swap, liquidity pairings, Wrapped Red LC, Don LP utilizing Red LC. And then for midnight trades, Red LC is used. It's going to continue to be used on midnight trades. Games that are onboarding, for example, Zombie Nation, are going to use Red LC in some way, shape, or form. We mentioned Infinity. I hope we mentioned Infinity Realms. I don't know if we mentioned its usage, but it will be used in Infinity Realms in some way, shape, or form as well. NFT trading and stuff like that. The utilization of the governance coin is the only thing it's not doing the same as any other blockchain is being utilized for gas, right? It's still being utilized for staking, still being utilized for purchasing of things, still being utilized for liquidity of pairings. So while you might think it doesn't have utility, it definitely does. Now, it doesn't have many price driving utilities because it's not used for gas. But that will change down the line. As more things in our ecosystem are released, like Pandora's Vault, for example, or Dusk. As more things are released and it's utilizing more and more Red LC on a consumption basis, right? So, for example, Dust, if you want to pay in order to generate a land, just as an example, right? It's consuming that Red LC just as if it was an in-app purchase, right? And I've always said Dust is not pay to win; it's pay for convenience. But I won't get too much into that because I don't want to get off topic here. But I've got a couple more minutes if you guys want to ask a couple more questions. What action will be taken for the dumping if done by the team, mod / dev? So I can confidently 100% say none of the dev team, so none of the core 5, have sold a single Red LC. And I don't believe any of the admins have done any major trading as well. I know some of them do arbitrage trading, and I know some of the mods do arbitrage trading. And now I know what you're referring to. You're referring to the sales that were before the announcement. That investigation is definitely on the way, and we have a couple of leads for that. And as soon as everything's definitive and marked up into appropriate report, we will go ahead and release that, as well as take action against the any users found culpable, is I guess the word, of insider trading. Keel, the article definitely answers that question for you, man.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I'll take this one more question. So I just really quick, sorry to cut you off. I just got confirmation that the 3% bridge fee will be reduced to 1%.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to ask pretty much about money, because I think this is the most important thing right now. So basically, it's like ask on the chat. Do we actually have like the liquidity tools to pay out people? And if we do have, uh, why is it only like 180K for the first month? And is it gonna be like more after the first month?
Yeah, so great question. Now the article really touches upon this very well, I believe. So as far as that goes, it will be 170K for the first month, and in the second month, it really depends on what the article said, the revenue drivers, right? So, excuse me, and it also depends on, like I said earlier, the information that we have in front of us. A lot of people are basing their $20 a month or whatever off of the fact that they're assuming that every single person in the entire ecosystem is going to get a refund. Well, it's true that if you are under 100%, you will. If you made a profit and you made money, you will not be getting a refund because you made a profit, right? So this is to refund people so that nobody's at a loss. Now, it really depends. Once we get all the figures in front of us and we're able to sit through and comb through all of that and really go over it and assess that properly, we'll make an action plan in regards to that's further than what our estimates are already based on the articles already provided you.
Okay, but do we have the money?
I already said the article answers that question, man. You can definitely go and read the article for that. So, Monday.
What's Monday, Alex? I missed that.
The 1% bridge fee.
Okay, Monday. Oh, let me add that to my message.
Yeah. If you can still hear me, if you get a message that your server muted, it's because you had a hot mic when you came in and it was cutting people off, so we had to mute you. If you want to, you can just tag myself and he'll unmute you and you can ask your question.
He's unmuted.
Awesome. Yeah. So great question about the division of the funds. So I fully want it to be fair. We want it to be fair. So instead of having a queue system and then everybody fucking waiting forever, right? We decided to split it up equally among everybody. This will allow the lower cost out. Like for example, if you only have $20 left in your 100% return on investment, you're going to be out first month, right? Now, as far as Max wallets go, a lot of people made money with Max wallets, so not necessarily. I know I'm putting a blanket statement on that, but it's not necessarily correct how that's being viewed as. But again, once all the information is in front of us, we'll be able to more easily make better decisions on that. And as far as giving you that, will the information be released to the public to show what our expected what rate it will be? Yeah. So, actually, a great question. I really want to do I don't know if it's going to be possible. However, this is my envisionment for that. This is as a spreadsheet that'll show the wallet address, no Discord usernames or anything like that, because we won't have that information. Wallet address, money in, money out, money owed. And then you'll be able to sit there and you'll be able to see how much, so that way nothing can be disputed, I guess you could say, because that's the information that we pulled directly from the blockchain. I'm not sure I understand your question, Rug Clown. Why not just make NFT for the oh, okay, now I understand it. I had to reread it. We're looking into that. We're looking into everything. We're looking into things. Okay. Well, I bought my Max wallets on NFT Trade. Yeah. So I said this earlier, Mr. RLF. I said that I'll look into this and see if we're able to do anything about that. And we have to just ensure it's complicated, like I said, because the people that were trading districts and cities.
Hey, Alex, when will the final numbers be available?
As soon as possible. As soon as I get them and we put them into a spreadsheet, we'll give them to you. How will
Okay.
valuations of the investments in Infiniums, et cetera, benefit the company in terms of revenue? These valuations mentioned are nice, but is there revenue coming from those investments? I actually can't answer that question, Killer Whale, because I don't necessarily know their back end on what they're planning on doing as far as revenue driving systems go. That's not my purview. I answer tech questions. I help them with integration. Simon from My Metaverse has been a fantastic help with integration of their games. So I'm sorry, that's just not a question that I have the ability to answer. The people who made money with max wallets are the ones who maxed out initially when Scarlet Chain was launched. Some like us made max and shut it down. Yeah, I know. That's what I was mentioning, Monk Peeps. There's a lot of variables in that, so it's best to just wait for all of the information and then go from there.
Alex, what are we doing with the V2 Scar? Was a question that was in
Yeah.
chat.
So V2 Scar, if you did not sell it and you still hold it, it does not count against you in money out, right? So say you put in $1,000, right? And then you had $1,000 in V2 Scar that you were not able to sell. You're still getting $1,000 refund because you did not sell that V2 Scar. Monk Peeps, we need another AMA. Yes, so just like the article said, we will have an AMA shortly and to go over all of this. I agree with you. The reason why I did this VC is because somebody tried to say that I was a coward, that I wouldn't do it, and I'm sitting here, rolling with the punches. So just what about giving priority to people who actually put money as soon as V2.0 is launched? I mean, I can look into that, but it's not really something that's feasible. But I can understand where you're coming from for sure. V2 Scar is still worth $60. That doesn't really matter because it's money in versus money out, right? So if, again, you put in $1,000 and you didn't make anything, you're getting $1,000 back. Kane, I already touched upon the $20 a month thing. And I know you're getting 5 fingers pointing up like, yeah, this. Like, again, that's on the assumption that every single wallet is owed money when that's not true. And that's also under the assumption that, that everybody's owed the same amount and all of that stuff. So $20 a month is not necessarily accurate. You'll get more information as we get the accumulation of the total ins and outs. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, guys. It's hard to read. And I'm taking one more question, and then it's 10 o'clock, and then I'm gonna shut this down. But I hope you guys appreciate. LV, no, that's not necessarily correct at all. It is about the money we used 2 weeks ago, and that we won't see until next year. You guys need to talk about this option. Yeah, I can commit to bringing it up to the team. When will the more detailed info on the RO wallets are? As soon as I get them, we put them in a spreadsheet and we can give them to you. That's what I want to do. So hopefully we can get that done soon. I will check back with you Monday regarding the bridge fee. Yep, thank you. Other payback options being considered, like locked Red LC or validator exchange, being considered, yes. However, this is the problem, Killer Whale. As soon as we offer that, the thing is going to be, hey, why are they doing this? See, they're not giving you a refund, blah, blah, blah. They're giving you options. Like, it's just a never-ending circle of people twisting and skewing things when in reality we're just trying to offer more things for people. But any news on Alchemist Chains? When there's news, there'll be an announcement.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hi. I invested around 50,000. So how would that work?
So if you invested 50,000, so 50,000 minus any profit that you took Sorry, not profit. Anything that you took out equals amount owed.
Okay. When would that spreadsheet come out?
As soon as possible.
This thing is stressful, man.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining the VC. I hope this, alleviated some concerns from you guys, being able to hear from myself. I know you probably didn't get all the answers that you wanted, but I really hope that this has been insightful for you. I appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic. Now make 5 timer, not 15. I'll change the timer if you guys are nice. Have a
Thank
great
you
day,
for your
guys.
time, Alex.
I got it, Alex. I'll put it on 5.
Thank you. Bye-bye.